dico cosa è successo.
Lei aveva questa R moscia che le dava una...
Sì, mi serve un'ambulanza in via Giovanni Pascoli a Garlasco.
A Garlasco?
Sì,
Via Giovanni Pascoli al numero?
29, la via senza uscita, la trovo subito.
Come?
È la via senza uscita, mi sembra il 29, non ne sono sicuro.
Ma cosa succede?
E credo che abbiano ucciso una persona, non sono sicuro, forse è viva.
Ma in che senso? Cioè, cos'è successo? Lei cosa vede?
E adesso sono andato ai carabinieri, c'è sangue dappertutto e lei è sdraiata per terra.
In strada o in casa?
No, in casa.
Sì, ma è una sua parente, eh?
No, è la mia fidanzata.
Quanti anni ha questa persona?
26.
Ma lei è in casa adesso?
No, sono in caserma, sono appena arrivato, adesso vi dico cosa è successo.
Today, no music. Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
He say, oh, that's it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Angelo. Oh, he's tearing my heart out. I love that. Just keep it going. Now, she's starting to leave. So far down. Keep falling. Keep falling. Keep falling. Now go back into the darkness.
Stefania, Chiara è una persona solare, mi dicevi.
Solare, simpatica, semplicissima, che amava studiare, si è laureata a pieni voti.
Abbiamo visto anche ieri sera filmati.
Ci risiamo. In quel computer, quello di Chiara, c'è anche un video suo con altri amici, tra cui il fratello. Com'è finito nel computer di Chiara? Si è dato una spiegazione?
Credo che ovviamente a metterlo sul computer saremmo stati io e lui, perché ovviamente il video ce l'avevo io, saremmo stati io e lui a metterlo.
Su quel computer c'era anche un video intimo dei due fidanzati.
David, Mr. Lynch. David, it's like Mr. Lynch. Can you hear me from here? Because, and if... can't believe it. It's a Freddy, once again. It's a Freddy, once again. In Naples. can't say middle, sky, subsumer for middle is equivalent of variable, and an adjective theoretically means a clear, sunny day, scattered in general, alternated with or two clouds, cloudy scattered in general, or vice versa. It's the case of the day, perhaps in some way as you can see clear, but not totally clear, mettersi middle, and it was molto simile now, but there is a wind, but the middle there is a wind golden divi, perhaps more vivid ancora si genera golden divi, consider the even if, so in case vice versa, it's better to say there is a wind golden divi, at the same time it's so simile now, and it's really after the 13 and 38 minutes. If it's 75 at 14 Celsius, it means that it's a really cold and Canadian period. E si fa che questi casi gadget è giusto senza questo decorso se questo decorso per il secondo se absolutely remember I consider that you already overcome 4 years with the course regarding last past summer. Con me si fa consider che c'è 4 years past June 17 so that they already overcome 4 years with the course as regarding past summer in general past summer is absolutely remember if you follow me in past summer think poi e also fact that you overcome 4 years second now also for the winter overcome them yes and to be precise it was December 21 in particular 16 for 3 p.m. in Italy. Perhaps uno fica poi su poi c'è io suppose di I'm sure attuare si vediamo di things così a stesso se si vede una qualcosa perché io ci sto facendo si mettono per e lì le studenti calcolations for the speaking some video to start with speaking to the soft for esame agenti for the pure once again agenti soft sono da sincera for resistance ability casi gadget and as you the degrees at least for me was something così in general su due complete but no considering video it's winter it's cold so we complete should do complete but when I say the sentence absolutely incomplete I'm really feeling così already si referred to me but you perhaps really for this video perfect thanks to fact don't feel cold but feel less other people thanks sense of practice compared to particular practice following senza mia switch also to the fatto cold and when it comes winter period winter weather period I always want to come there c'è che sperimentare su perché se che se potete fare parte di questo conto di nostri su sono anni si testa un traise di praxis se che si sia I bit read si fare parte di questo conto di disastri non fosse rapido frente a finco notte così infatti ficcolo lenti finco yes o no mi si pensa di mettere finco 90% di ficcolo o avere in genere in some way for me questo o avere in genere in some way for me questo stia about to scatto satisfazione già tu no perché se sempre si dice se vuoi che sia più secondo è tutto complicato perché non mi finisce ma fiuso di It's a Friday once again, as uno fisso for la serie Friday. It's a Friday once again, as uno fisso for la serie Friday. It's a Friday once again, as uno fisso for la serie Friday. Lascia bello in disa. Lascia bello in disa. Fantastic Electric Red, no sorry, Fantastic Electric Blue and White, Six reso nessuno delle forze. And I guess because also the previous the fifth crashed in the week fact mistake of 9 Friday Golf not 9 8 no it should be I think yes 9 yes 78 the previous 50 still with me 6 months more than half fact mistake it was a bit what now there is this a bit yes another is this and obviously it's good because it's new. And I also sto punto in like effect of I also sto punto like on this thing like sex of like effect of then I speak about the breakfast I promise to at 1 day or solamente amici questo per vedere tutto just Friday just start to shoot to you or yes it should be the week of 9 Friday go repeat fino a 9 or 8 and nessa obviously this is good because this news is good because if I kiss you and only for a views on noise it might be at least 30 minutes but I shave it in 30 minutes in one round not much because obviously it's good this new and in one round and now I show to you better once again because perhaps just before non see quello è with this closer shot so you can see the blue and white six it is like different reason comparison in modern comparison with the previous for the colors it remembers for me 40 was the fourth fact was the blue and white but for some aspects also the first one the second I guess and repeat once again also the six no story six reason also reports in general for this is for diciamo di questa prova che si vede portare in centro non so se mi sa cantare per sorta obige to make a bunny challenge si può anche su macchina termini music se non so se preso su io ma also di sei chip per gat di Africa finché a tre impressioni si dice repeat just before 57 to 14 senso praticamente non si vede non si vede si vuole dire Consider the things last days according to Taride, what's according to Taride, consider manifestation settings. I think it's if not possible, almost sure very possible that it once again late after possibility early after the previous to late after might became if not totally I think close to totally gradi proprio also dark bleaker at what I see mostly I'm close to totally cloudy and also that my tree fatta a few months today I think from very close but as always and obviously we aren't magicians so wizards so also see even if it's clear it's come skin today very clear well bad perhaps the contrary bad well bad well in fact one of them well bad or bad well so see quindi non è cortino in frase lungo frase mix plans ti sei un cortese in sasso migliore magari in sombra quando sul bordo dei breus tarde barti molly for no set it was a beautiful grey curtain with beautiful painted in princess but we pen all the passage from the breus un curtain things need to matter se devono una comments conversation sì che si orrido una comments conversation should be the point to the first comment perhaps for to comment where one of them is the conversation when and if you can see no test the well this shot in a me finalmente finco yes in flowers along the flowers mixed with plants or if not even better should be better I should practically the first part of the video which Perugia showed you the weather scatters general from the classical video room the classical video room or from Boris perspective also when esame pensa ciò si mangia classico ciò prima di intersico per mi segue lì una verbe one non so se tutto ma tanto in extra ci rimane intersico for the best curtain bit and beautiful grey curtain beautiful painted benches e proprio forse for the first curtain story di forza calare curtain if non tiriamo extra lise sure di calare curtain si stile in cover immagine dicendo one day sono di damage di città vabbè e questo sì this is shot so sorride effect buff when there is sente che non riesce non so quando si fatto quando risi che si meglio adesso io da little speech sente tu sei che si fa per scusare Peter di portino di per Manchester proprio sul sito che for this first to the story the ports che portino e sul sito che sempre remember exactly and now see dit also for non so che se now see little for the portino so ripetere special so che for fare e so avere little speech sentence si dice but also always better visible for me it's sentire di inizio shot anticipansi mitico leggenda shot si crede che non riuscite doing attivism fantastic attivism was first year last October but it's important to support the to subito attivism and now see that it's picture center so they put on surit per sul svaglio su surit so repeat once again but also and always better visible for me inizia sentire di inizia shot anticipansi mitico leggenda shot infine il mitico keyboard NGX 64 PG scritto si fa also si leggenda shot since a few weeks also from Factory Film Net on January last January 24th to yesterday so from a new shot into which you can see the actual condition of the keyboard actual condition since December 2nd 2024 in fact since that there was no light this is the main problem another little problem but another little problem this is the main problem sono in realtà I'll try to fix it First security che tu era un super messaggio su myself, excuse, and finally you will get breakfast. Today it's late in general, also for my husband, in fact I say late for my husband, if so maybe in such a matter to in fact net education for this time, it's late, yes for the in general for people, it's late, both for the Maria but not to for my so kind of mind or type of mind make breakfast. This is better see in winter period, cioè let's fuck at better see December, January, yes. Sometimes later, but the more important is to fare un regalo accendo sempre to stare in fact anche se intendo sempre interessato but drinking milk at fintan in parte mette tu sia just think the regoli sia così ma so straccio close the record let's so much if diventano more than yes si justify they're just roll io just 13:38 minutes at really important thing is to remember that it's a way also be important to so I'm really angry and that's what we always see ecco sono most building as for absolutely su no senza posso venire a mettersi quanto finché mordo mani always lo sto punto di think like x for me reason also the new reason but mettersi appunto the X for me reason on Friday in fact on this day and this is weather report and Friday's weather report it was the 5th il nostro weather report the beautiful red black and white is at different one in comparison with the previous on some aspects it depends on the first one and in the second next and the third for the cars all things that in particular they follow with me and all things that know in particular they follow with me in fact on this day Friday's weather report finché una buona sono buone faccio videos in general which all other my videos yes however yes this should be in terms of video but the problem is you do one day or one time so many times better to better president of the justice of the scene with his speech for his own short so business is a job is talking about this what finché essere vita more money and start to discuss the matter in fact the main visual comments the visual discuss and see I think it almost the best in terms of the chocolate chip cookies 8 cookies, the chips chocolate chips. And if I'm not mistaken, also favorite biscuits message. But in particolare, Twinks Regulars Red, and this is one about to make a factory shot to link and of James Lee. Those are quick shop, in fact, stars for shot of fragment, so shot if think 7 months as soon as he gets a lost conto ci viene da ripieno, se ne ripete Rosemone quick, si finisce now this one say bruttetto one senza think 239, 40, 41, easy si gets a lost conto ci viene da ripieno, se ne ripete and so since at amount of today I pattern certain it once again the milk soup very good news a misi also fact news breakfast su questa bomba sta pieno particolare mega bomba inizio così se spirito gioco su tutto questo mania soup corso mi fin su questo time svet period e finziamo insomma se tolle le cose breakfast su questa mega bomba e se continua se bacia se fa ni fra più si sta da con da ansias mi sa se al second position proprio su che segue at first position di Bamat già nel second position di cosa attraverso questa posizione for Italian Palm Dark Chocolate Chip Basilas. Fa cose, a due come nella tua, because they are really super bad. Adesso, tomorrow is supposed to enter in, fa canto tomorrow 8 con il leppe. Ma OLC.